Education is the key to success. The Sustainable Development Goal 4 states, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote a lifelong learning opportunities for all. Speaking to an educational consultant, Mr. Ransford Asare, he expressed that finances is one of the major challenges that is being faced by the educational sector of the country.
At both basic and senior high schools. Okay. In fact, there are myriad of challenges in the educational sector in Ghana at the moment, and various and current governments has put certain modalities and strategies in place to curb these challenges. But we still have a couple of them. Challenges are there, and we need to work at it so that we can resolve the challenges. And then the states. Now, education in Ghana looks good. If you come to the basic school, that is the KG, primary, and GHS, we have new curriculum that we are using. At the primary school, we have what we call the standard-based curriculum. And then at the GHS, we have the Common Core program. So the Common Core program, the first batch of students that are going to write exams for this curriculum, they are in GHS 3 now. And when they complete this Common Core program, it means next year, when they go to SHS, the next year, next academic year, which will resume this year. So they would also start the new curriculum at the SHS. So next year or next academic year, which will start latter part of this year, would have a new curriculum at the SHS. So the new curriculum is to do away with objective-based form of teaching and learning. Hitherto, the teacher will come and talk and lecture, but with this current standard-based curriculum and then the Common Core program, we try to make the learner be more participatory. The students or the learner should participate or should be actively involved. So teaching and learning should be more practical. The learner should understand and try to participate, try to more of activities. So instead of the teacher lecturing or talking, the teacher engages the learners, gives more activities, more application. So instead of teaching the child what is maybe photosynthesis, you take the learner through activities for the learner to come out of photosynthesis. So these are some of the things that government is trying to put across so that it will improve teaching and learning. And then when it comes to infrastructure, government has built a lot of schools. At the senior high schools, we have a lot of classrooms being built because we have this free SHS. The numbers are very high. And when we began the free SHS, the government promised that by 4 or 5 years, we would end the double track. Now it is in the second phase where we are running the double track though, but it is in phases. You remember when we started the double track, first years we have red and gold. So first year parts of the students, maybe half of the students will go, and then next term or next semester other part will go. But now that is not the case. Currently, if you go to SHS, 2 sections are in school. The third years are in school, and the first year are also in school. So by March, the first years will come home, and then second year will join. Then by June, July, the final year student, the SHS 3, will complete. They will come back. Then the first year will join. Because we are running the double track, the contact hours, that is the duration that the student will be in school. The contact hours, I think they close around 3:30 thereabout. So they will have enough contact hours. And then there are some interventions. So these are some of the things that the government is doing to current and previous government are doing. You remember during the XY NDC regime, they also tried to build some community days in a high school. If you remember, they wanted to do the free SHS gradually, but the current government want to do it um, immediate. And for me, I think the free SHS is a good thing because either to not all learners who complete GHS are able to enter, but the free SHS has its own challenges because the numbers are too huge. That's why we were running the double track and now we are running the transition. Yes. So infrastructure has been a challenge and the little resources that we have because we have high numbers and even manpower because we have large number of students, government need to employ more teachers, more administrators. It's not easy at the SHS. Teachers are going through a lot of challenges. So we are, as an educationist and as educational consultant, I would pray that government would give more allowance to teachers because the work is enormous. Yeah, it's a challenge. It was a natural disaster that we couldn't have done anything about it. So um, now that the situation has been resolved, they have lost a lot of contact hours, and so the intervention government can put in place is to increase the contact hours. So instead of closing at 2:30, they can extend it to 3:30 or 4. Uh-huh. So government and the teachers and the community can partner. In education, to develop education, you cannot do away without partners or stakeholders, partners or stakeholders, partners or stakeholders. And the stakeholders and partners in education are teachers, parents, community. And so any challenge that you have, you need to engage them. For teachers, you can engage the teacher unions. They would assist you in some of the modalities that you can put in place to then also the community. We cannot do away with the community participation in education. The community, sometimes they even support teachers with accommodation. So the community can even assist with some volunteers. We can have some of the community members who have completed colleges, um, university, technical universities, and they can assist even in teaching. So maybe after school at 3:30, some of them can take up the position to assist them to do extra teaching. For instance, those in the GHS 3 who will be writing exams. Yeah, so those are the things that government can put in place, and it will help to the contact hours lost to regain it. So it will not affect because we have the permanent teachers teaching during the normal school contact. So this is an additional. There are a lot of factors that affect teaching. If you teach the learner and the learner go home without revising, the learner will forget. And so it could be a form of maybe extra or additional assistance. So they can take them through maybe if they were given assignments or what they taught them, they didn't understand very well. They would consolidate what had been taught by their regular teachers. You brought up the fact that people who do not have certificates or do not even in now we have the current law connection with the NTC, National Teaching Council. If you do not have license in Ghana, you cannot teach. And they are doing it gradually. After the public schools, every teacher teaching in public school has a license or is a trained teacher. It is the private schools that we have some that are not trained teachers. But then NTC has sent some directives to them. And so those who are teaching in the private schools who are doing it, they have given them opportunity. They take them through some training. Then they give them temporal licenses that will last for 3 years, but renewable every year. So after the 3 years, it is assumed that you would have done an educational program for you to get a certificate or a degree in education that will qualify you to write for the license. So you become accepted or you meet the requirements for the educational sector to teach. Almost all the sectors, if you do not have license, you cannot operate. For instance, if you're a medical doctor, you're a nurse, you're a pharmacy, you're a lawyer, even driver, you should have a license. So for me, people who are saying They will cancel license, what. For me, as an educationist, I do not buy that idea because it's the license that will give you power. Even it gives you authority or power to bargain when it comes to salary because you're a professional, you have license. So for that one, we cannot do away with it. Yeah. At the JHS and primary and then the KG, that's the basic sector, that is where government pays capitation. And it is important that government, at the JHS, we have free compulsory universal basic education. That's the FQ, where every child in the basic school from KG to JHS should have education that is free. And so, for that matter, because the learners are not supposed to pay any money, government pays some money to the schools to manage the schools, to run the schools. But it is not forthcoming. As of last, the government is in arrears for about 3 terms that they have not paid. The funds. Yeah, they release funds, but those are arrears. But as of last year, they were owing them, I think, about 6 terms. 6 terms, which is like 2 years. So the funds they release is not to cover all the arrears. So it was used to pay for the, I think, 1 year or so. Currently, I have a reliable source that they have paid 1 term to the schools. The schools are many. So when you hear maybe 20,000 Ghana cedi released, it's a huge amount. But that is to all DHS primary school and primary schools in the country. So the money can be huge, but a particular school may receive maybe about 200 Ghana. The capitation grant is paid based on the number of students you have in your school. Yes. So if you have 100 students in your school, maybe you have GHS, only GHS, and you have 100 students in your school, you can imagine the amount of capitation grant that you will get. So because the capitation grant it doesn't come regularly, it doesn't come on time. Some schools, the parents try to assist. They try to assist, but government would like to minimize where we levy parents. Some schools they will levy that every child should pay or every parent should pay 100 cities, 200 cities. Sometimes, if the parents are not able to pay, some schools they would beat or sack some of the students. And because we want every learner to be in school, for that reason, we do not want government do not want levy. But if the parents willingly assist, some schools parents they understand the education and they know that government alone cannot do everything. So they try to also assist. It could be financial resources, material resources, and learning materials, teaching and learning materials, teaching and learning resources actually. Yeah. So basically that is the state of capitation grants. The education sector, some of the schools are under what we call the school feeding. And the school feeding is for only primary school, but not all primary schools that benefit from the school feeding. So they are selected, not all. Yes, because of funds. It's a challenge because the funding. I don't know if you are aware. Last year, some of the matrons even came up that they've not been paid for her. So it is a challenge. As in our country, it's a challenge. Everything is a challenge. The country is even under IMF, and so sometimes securing fund for this kind of intervention is very difficult. It comes, but sometimes it delays. So not all the schools. So sometimes what they do is that they look at the less privileged schools. So maybe in a district, they look at a community where um, the community is less privileged or the socioeconomic background of the learners are low. Then they start from there. So the JHS students are not part of the school feeding. Education sector, some of the schools are under what we call the school feeding. And the school feeding is for only primary school, but not all primary schools that benefit from the school feeding. So they are selected. Not all. Yes, because of funds. It's a challenge because the funding. I don't know if you are aware. Last year, some of the matrons even came up that they've not been paid for her. So it is a challenge. As in our country, it's a challenge. Everything is a challenge. The country is even under IMF, and so sometimes securing fund for this kind of intervention is very difficult. It comes, but sometimes it delays. So not all the schools. So sometimes what they do is that they look at the less privileged schools. So maybe in a district, they look at a community where um, the community is less privileged, or the socioeconomic background of the learners are low. Then they start from there. So the JHS students are not part of the school feeding. It's from basic one, that's class one to class six, but not all the schools. The KG, I don't have information. But when you look at the KG, in most of the schools, what they do is that the KG, hitherto KG was not part of basic education, but um, for now it is part of the basic education. Government supply them with teachers and other stuff. But then, because the KG they are lower level, most of the schools, when the children come to school, the parents put their lunch and breakfast. In some schools where that arrangement was very difficult, they agreed to pay some levies to the KG department. So they arrange with cooks for them to cook for them. So they bring their breakfast, and then lunch, they have somebody cooking for them. So they feed. So basically that is how it is. The textbook, previously we were not having too much challenge with textbooks because we were using the old curriculum. But when the new curriculum came to being, because it's a new thing, government try to engage with writers to write a book. And it takes time. If you are writing book, you need people to proofread, audit, publish, and what have you. And as I said, financially we have challenge. So even if it is approved, we need printers. So those are some of the challenges. But then with the new curriculum, one thing that they tried to do initially was not to be textbook based. So as the teacher who is on top of your issue, I mean the course that you teach, you should, if you are teaching a particular topic, you should know the information that the learner required. But of course, because of the old curriculum, some facilitators or teachers, I call them textbook teachers. So there are some teachers, if they do not have textbook, they cannot teach. There are some teachers, if you take away the textbook from them, they can't teach. But with the new curriculum, because it is to widen the scope of the learner, initially they thought if they use one textbook, the knowledge that they want them to acquire will be narrow. But then you can also not do away with teaching without textbook. The textbook will give the guide to the teacher. Though we have the curriculum, that will give you the content standards and then the indicators to teach. But the textbook will also give you some examples. And also, for instance, like teaching of English language, the learners will need to read comprehension. And if you don't have textbook, it will be difficult for them to read comprehension for you to ask them questions. So those are some of the challenges. Financially, we are not sound, but the government has tried. At the primary school, they brought some textbooks for. I think they have maths, they have science, and they have English. Yes, those are the textbooks that they have brought, but not all the classes that have it. The information we have, maths, science, and English, the textbooks are available, but not all the classes have it. But they are still working on it. It's coming, but in bits. I'm sure because of the financial constraints, printing it is a challenge. Of course, government has not brought any information out that they have challenge. But personally, I think It may be as a result of financial challenge, but they are doing their best. As for the GHS, there hasn't been any textbook. It was when they started the common core Form 1 that they brought um, teacher's guide and then learners resource pack. So for Form 2 and Form 3, there is no textbook for the teachers. So they are using the curriculum and some other textbooks that are in the system. Of course, we have a new curriculum, but the entire contents have not changed. Some of the topics that were in the GHS are still there, but it is the approach or the pedagogy in teaching that has changed. And some of the topics either to were in senior high school that has been brought to GHS. And sometimes maybe a topic was of GHS 2, now it's in GHS 1. So the old textbooks have some of the topics, so some of the teachers are still using it and trying to. Picking up the lesson notes has been a challenge when the new curriculum began. And particularly, teachers have this challenge because especially the primary school teachers. The primary school teachers, they are classroom teachers. So class 2 teacher is teaching all the subjects and he needs to prepare lesson plan for English, maths, science, RME, history, OWOP, and what have you. So for instance, English, they have it 5 times. So English alone, you prepare 5 lesson notes, maths 5 lesson notes. So it was a big of a challenge when they started the new curriculum. In fact, the trainers wanted the teachers to prepare what we call daily lesson plan. That is every day the topic you teach, you prepare on it. Monday you prepare, Tuesday. But they realized that doing this would be a very difficult task for the teacher. So they also came up with weekly lesson plan. Though every day you plan, but it will not be too detailed. You need to have the daily one for yourself as a teacher, how you go about it. But the weekly one is the one that you submit to your head teacher or your immediate supervisor to vet. That is to check what you want to teach for the week. And if you remember, then the NACA secretary came up that scripting, there was even an audio, scripting of lesson plan should not be done again. It means that teachers should not waste their time to write. Because when you look at the current curriculum, it has a detailed examples and indicators and content standards. So the teacher can follow. But that has been prepared. But what as experts we think is that you may have the outline, which is general, but based on your learner's ability, you can refine to suit your situation. Because the curriculum can suggest that maybe you use a projector in delivering teaching a particular topic. But you may not have a projector in a particular community. So will you state in your lesson plan that I will use projector? You may use other approach. So that is what brought the confusion. So some teachers were writing, others, some experts wrote the lesson plan online and some teachers downloaded it. But some of us who are experts advise teachers, you can have an online prepared lesson plan. But you as a teacher, you are going to teach it. Somebody has planned it. You can look at it and then you edit it, how it will suit your classroom, how it will suit your environment. Then you address it. Then you write it. And then others also look at it from another perspective. Now we are moving to, I am a STEM educator, science, mathematics, and computing educator. So we are moving to the digital world, and government even plan to support teachers with laptops. That one is another issue. Maybe we can even talk about it another time. An amount was deducted from teacher salary to be given a laptop, and as of now, some of the teachers have not been given. So others were of the view that, or are some of the view that, because we have laptops. Why can't we prepare our lesson plan on our laptops? Then, government usually bring what we call lesson notebook. Then teachers will write it in the lesson plan. So what about if I write the lesson plan on my laptop? I may either print it and send it to you, or I can send the soft copy to my head teacher, either email or maybe a WhatsApp. Some teachers try to do this, and some head teachers and CISOs were not comfortable with this arrangement. So it brought a lot of issues. But now, I think as of last 2 weeks, the Director General, or I think the Deputy Director General, came out with a modality. I'm sure you have cited the letter. That states that in the letter we are saying that the a teacher may choose to either prepare as want to prepare his hand. Because I even think that one will lessen government expenditure. Because government need to buy textbook and supply it to the teachers every year. And it's a huge amount. And sometimes it was not even forthcoming. So head teachers would use the capitating grant, which is inadequate, or sometimes the support from parents to buy the lesson plan book for the teachers to use it. So sometimes some teachers may not have the lesson notes and they choose not to write. But now you have your laptop, you have your computer, even you can use your phone. You write your lesson plan, then you submit it to your head teacher's email. Then your head teacher can vet it and acknowledge receipt of it. I think as a STEM educator, it is a good call. It is not meant to lazy the teacher or to make the teacher not to prepare lesson plan, but to ease the teacher's work. Because if you have the lesson plan soft copy already there, maybe next year when you are preparing, you can look at it and look at, you cannot prepare a lesson plan today and next year use the same, because you have different students, different environment. As you teach, you acquire different knowledge, different skills, different strategy. So you may use different strategies, different pedagogy to teach, different teaching and learning resources. So you can look at your old lesson plan, you have a new idea, try to maybe bring new ideas to improve. So I think this arrangement will help here. Currently, some teachers at the basic primary school have not received, and teachers at the education offices have also not received. As for senior high school and GHS, I can say maybe 99% of the teachers have received. Primary school teachers too, a lot. It is the few at the primary school. It shouldn't be so, but I think they had challenge either in distribution or procurement. It's long overdue. It's almost like 2 years. Yes, it's long overdue. So some teachers are furious. Sometimes, as a consultant, some teachers will call how or what is government doing about laptop, because they paid for. Uh-huh. Originally, the unions wanted government to give it to them free, but the laptop will be used for teaching and learning. So personally, from my personal perspective, I don't think teachers should have been deducted. They shouldn't have paid for at all. As a journalist who is doing your work, the camera that you brought, did you buy it yourself? The laptops that you use at the office, do you buy it yourself? Yes, it is the organization that bought it for you. So I think government should have provided the laptop for the teachers, and then it will be owned by government, though the teacher will use it, and it may be assigned to a school. So you use it when you are teaching in school A. If you are moving to school B, you leave it there, you go to the school B. What is there? You use this. Very true. In fact, hitherto the Ghana Teacher Prize was not as it is. We have the National Teacher Best Teacher Award though, but then before NTC came to being, now NTC is responsible for the license. Previously, GS officials will come to your school. In fact, head teachers and then circuit supervisors, now CISOs, they will come around and then they observe, as education officers, they go around to supervise teachers' work. Then, as they do that, they see or predict teachers who are good. So, Sometimes in a particular circuit or area, they select some teachers who they think are good teachers. Sorry. Then they nominate them at the school level. So we have officers, circuit supervisors, officers from the district will go and then look at the work. If the teacher is good, he will move to the circuit level, to the district level, to region, and then we have the national best teacher. But now it is done online. You do application online, so um, it's quite difficult for the districts. The district do not have hand in it because it is done online. Of course, they have people that will come and assess what the information. So when you apply, you put evidence of the things that you do to show that you qualify to be a best teacher. Your lesson plan. There are criteria that they look at. But then, notwithstanding that one, I think that various districts or municipalities and metropolis should also put up municipal best teacher award. And as I said earlier, everything boils down to funds. And so I have seen some MPs organizing best teacher award in their municipal or constituencies. Yeah, so other MPs, NGOs can also sponsor the various district assemblies or district education directorate for them to come up with some form of educational motivation. You know, for teachers, when you motivate teachers with something small, even mobile phone, laptop, the teacher can do everything or what you do not even expect that the teacher will do, he will do it. So as educationists who is also into education, I would implore on various NGOs, organizations, benevolent organizations to come to the aid of education sector. In fact, education sector is one of the biggest sectors we have, and a chunk of money, government expenditure goes there, but still inadequate. You know, you cannot, for every work that you do, you need education, and so we don't need to undermine our educational sector at all. I know there are other areas that some organizations channel their sponsorship to, and I would really plead on various organizations to come to the aid of various districts. There are some organizations who are well to do in some districts, but they do not support their municipal in terms of any activities in the organization, in the districts. So I'm using this platform on your media that wherever you are, try and support your education directorate so that they will do activities that will improve on teaching and learning, activities that will engage your learners, that will engage people in the community to improve upon the teaching and learning. Yeah. Yes, you know, that is for this particular one, it is government responsibility. Government is the sole agency that is supposed to employ teachers. So what I would advise to government is that my advice to government is the various colleges of education, the number of students that they admit, and they should increase the number of admissions that they do at the colleges. Apart from the colleges of education, we also have some institutions, universities and other private educational institutions that also train teachers. If you go to the University of Cape Coast, they have College of Distance Education. They have a lot, thousand teachers that they have trained who have not been posted. There are a lot of teachers available who have not been posted, even some from the colleges. But all boils down to finance, because the more teachers that you employ, the more salary you have to pay. So government need to resource the colleges so that they will expand infrastructure so they can admit more teachers for them to be posted. Apart from that, they can contact the various college universities who run the distance program, University of Cape Coast, University of Education, Winneba, and Jackson is a private college of education. They do distance program where they train teachers So there are a lot of teachers available. But then there's another thing. Sometimes we have the personnel, but those are not the required personnel. You know, um, though every teacher undertake education courses, but some specialize in some areas. So you realize that you may have teachers in a particular school, but there are some subjects they cannot teach. So another thing that we have to look at is the distribution of the teachers. And you may have some schools, you have more maybe social studies and English teachers, but they do not have science at the SHS, physics, and those are the challenges we are facing. You go to senior high schools, half of the science teachers we do not have them at all, science and mathematics. You go to a school, they do not have maths and science teachers. But I think for now the gap is quite close, and previously too we're having the districts, they would employ the teachers, but now everything has been centralized. We do online application, then they'll post you to the districts. I think when the districts were doing the posting, it was better because the districts would have information that my school A, school B, school C, they need French teacher. So they will request for French teachers for them to come to the school. Sometimes when they are posted from the headquarters, we have some challenge because they may post a teacher but may not be competent to teach the particular course or subject that is available. Yeah, so that is another challenge. So I would use this opportunity to encourage people who to pursue science, mathematics, and French, and even Ghanaian language. Those are the subjects that we lack teachers. Then also when it comes to the new curriculum, they have two new subjects that they have introduced: career, technology, and design, and a creative. So we have the career technology and creative art and design. Those are new two courses that they have introduced. You know, previously they were having what we call BDT, basic design technology, where we have the home economics and pre-technical. Yes, the career technology is more or less a replacement of the home economics, the BDT. It has home economics aspect, it has pre-tech and what have you. Then the creative arts and design has some component of visual arts. It has some component of music, that's fine art, music, dance, and artwork. And we currently, if you visit schools, teachers are struggling to teach those courses because those teachers, I don't even know any teacher who is trained to teach those courses. So the teachers they are on the job training, they are learning and teaching it. So I think the various colleges of education and then the universities should mount courses in these areas so that they would train teachers in this field so that when they come out they will be able to teach these courses effectively. I think they are very fine courses that when the teachers are able to teach it well, it will help for the learners to be more creative. Now with the new curriculum, we want our learners to be more innovative, to be more creative. Innovative, creativity, collaborative skills. They should be able to collaborate. They should be able to communicate. You may interview a student who is in GHS who cannot communicate well. He cannot speak very well. So the new curriculum is coming up with innovation, creativity, problem solving, and critical thinkers. As you said earlier, they are not trained teachers. So, yes, when you look at the course, it embodies other subject areas. Music, we have part of music, part of arts, part of visual art. So they are from about 2, 3, 4 subject areas. So yes. So and even the career technology, we have technical, pre-technical aspects, home economics, and what have you. And so what we need to do is that we need to train, since now we have the subject content areas, we know the topics that are there. At the colleges of education, they can mount those courses. So the teachers will learn, the lecturers will teach them, so that when they come out, they'll be competent in teaching those areas. Like we have science. The science has physics aspects, chemistry aspects, biology, and agric aspects. But if you pursue the sciences, you will acquire knowledge in this field, then be able to teach the science. Uh, so when they train the teachers in this creative arts and design as well as career technology, they'll be able to teach it effectively. Yeah. We talked about the gender equity. Yeah, previously, some 10, 15, 20 years, you realize that the 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 the, the, the distance or the number was too wide. But now at the GHS level, if you look at the number of students, when I think this year we had about 600,000 students writing the BEC, and almost close to half of them were, I don't have the data now, but I think it was almost 50%. Yes, we can check later. Almost 50%. So I think the disparity now is better. When you go to senior high school, then it was very wide. And we even had some courses that we have even few students, female students pursuing, especially girls pursuing courses like technology, engineering, science, and those courses. But now you realize that a lot of girls and women are pursuing courses because now we are giving them education at the GHS level, and even I, every district's education office, we have what we call girl child coordinator. So usually what they do is that when they visit schools, they try to speak to the girls, encourage them, so that distance between the, the boy girl ratio will be minimized. And so they are trying to do that. And there are a lot of activities, like we have every second week in February, International Day for Women and Girls in Science. So it is also driving more girls to school as well as to pursue science and technology programs. And I even told you the previous government was even trying to use their senior high school and basic school. They were giving them free pad, and even now government has reduced the tax on pad. All is to make women comfortable so that they will not be burdened. I am even saying that I advise that even pad should be free. Pad should be free. We should have a company that manufacture pad, and it should be free. It is now that it's better. In those days, girls will menstruate and they will not go to school because they will not get money to buy pad. And some of them will even visit guys who give them money to buy pad. And if a guy gives you money to buy pad, after menstruation, you pay for it in kind. So it was a disaster for our female. But now I think it is better. The disparity between girls and boys in school is quite better. And I'm sure in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to come, the girls will even overtake the boys. And we have gender inequality for boys rather. Yes. So I even suggest that in as much as we are trying to encourage more girls to go to school, we should also try to encourage more boys to remain in school. There are some communities when you go, you may even see the girls in school more than boys. Because the boys they will go to farm. Some of them they do not have any parent to take care of them. They will go for fishing, they go to farm, so they will not even come to school regularly. So these are some of the challenges that are confronting the educational sector. And I think, and also there's something that they call gifts. They give some tablet to girls and to revitalize them so that during their menstrual problem period they will not go through pain and other stuff. But yes, but then there are some other things that some parents are even, there are myth behind it, that when they take, they become more fertile and they become pregnant. Even I heard that in South Africa they gave those kind of medicine to some students, and that crop of students that took that medicine, they became non-fertile, infertile, and they were not able to give birth and all that. All these are myths. I think before government will approve such things, and the health ministry would assess, and Ghana Standard Authority will assess the medicine that they will give to our people, so the students. Yeah. So education, the future of education in Ghana is quite good, and I think we can't do anything than to improve what we have at the moment. We need to improve it. One way that we can improve, I mentioned earlier, is we need to partner with all stakeholders. And there were this argument, PTA, PA. For me, you can't have education without parent involvement. We can't have education without teachers' involvement. So for me, parent association, parent teacher association. If you are a parent association and you are planning for the school, won't you consult the teacher? The teacher will tell you what the learner need. So if a government or other institutions are saying it should be parent association, can parents organize meeting for their wards in their homes? It will by all means happen in the school, and teachers must be part for them to tell them the challenges. So we have to go back to those days where we have PTA, Parent Teacher Association. Yes, so parents should be involved in the learners' activities that involve learners. Teachers should be involved. Community should show commitment. So if we have a community that the school structure is broken, the community should not wait for government to come and build. The community can come together, use labor, do contribution. There are a lot of people in the community that are well to do. They can help build the school. So for me, I don't even think that should be. So we help raise the image of schools in our community. You realize that somebody is staying at Denta, but the daughter or the son attend school at Kaswa. Look at the risk involved. You either drive the child all the way. But if we all come together to resource the schools in our community, that private or public, don't you think it would be better? The child will not take car to school beyond maybe 5 meters. And so even it will ease the traffic we have in the cities. You realize that when schools are on vacation, there's no traffic. There's no less traffic in the city, especially the urban areas, especially Accra, because the children are in the house. Somebody is living at Dakoma and taking the child to school at Osu, Dansoma. The risk involved, and it even drain our finances. TNT, transport alone, you give about 30 cedis, 40 cedis for transport alone before feeding. So the community members will come together to build community schools. So we will own the school. So government will come in. Government is the owner of the school, but parents, community should partner. And also, I think the current government is working on STEM schools, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we have a lot of schools that are STEM schools now. I'm happy about that. We need to encourage it. We need to build more schools that will train teachers and even students in science, technology. We are moving to a different world where technology, we cannot do away with technology. As we are speaking, you are using camera, you are using microphone, you are using phone. All these are technology. So we need to improve on our technology. I think now technology in Ghana is quite high. Those days before you can even speak to your mother in a village, or if you have your auntie in US, sometimes the whole year you cannot speak to. But now, within a twinkle of an eye, just send text message, WhatsApp, what have you. So we need to improve on our IT education, mathematics education, technology education, and all hands must be on deck so that we will help raise the image of education in our country. Yes, and our students also need to be serious and then try to do away with this kind of apple. They need to learn. We learn for life. If you learn and you understand, it will be there forever. If you use apple to write your exams at the HS, you go to SHS, you look for apple. If you finish SHS and you want to become a nurse, medical doctor, you use apple to go and do medicine. When you come out, can you practicalize the apple that you wrote? You cannot. I know some doctor who In fact, I have not met, but I have heard a story. He has completed medical school, but not ready to practice. One, because he was compelled to pursue science or medicine. Some, they were given a report to write their exams, so they are not on top of issues. So, as I said, parents should guide their children to pursue courses that they dream of, so that will not compel them to pursue courses that they do not like. I know somebody who did science but now has changed to law. I know somebody who pursued business and now is trying to do other courses. So, and the guidance and counseling units should also be enforced in our districts, so that we'll guide the learners to select courses. Even at primary school, we'll guide the learner. The learner will be aware, I want to become a nurse, I want to become a lawyer. So as of that time, he will pursue his agenda, or we work towards pursuing that career in future. But there are a lot of people who are working in places that they wish they are not working there, because either they were compelled or they were forced to, or situation took them there. Let's give our students opportunity to choose course of their interests, and that will help them to even motivate them to learn.
As Ghana joins the rest of the world to commemorate Educational Day, stakeholders should come on board to help promote Ghana's education.